A 1930s era truck manufacturing building is not where you would normally expect to find a Friday happy hour crowd. But that's exactly what was happening in Allentown, Pennsylvania. This converted sawtooth roof factory used to be part of the Mack truck assembly line. But tonight, it's bustling with tasters enjoying local mead, microbrews, and spirits. Just outside of the meadery, I was met by Jeff Minton, president of Make Lehigh Valley, one of only 3 makerspaces in the state. Jeff takes me down a long hall, past the brewery and distillery, to another part of the multi-purpose incubator facility. He opens what seems like a typical office door and guides me into a huge room that is humming with exhaust fans and has a pleasant smell that lies somewhere between a campfire and an old car garage. This is Make Lehigh Valley.
Primarily, we're a makerspace. That is that we are a shared physical space where people can come and use the tools we have and the, what I think to be, greater set of tools we have, which is the wealth of knowledge of our members.
Makerspaces were born out of what is called the maker movement, a kind of high-tech DIY attitude that was born from a combination of curiosity, frugalness, and the desire to be more around like-minded creators.
I think the maker movement is people getting stuff and making something on their own instead of buying something new and making it the way they want it made. Makerspaces are very much what you make it. For the most part, we don't exist to give you something to do. What we're here for is to help you do what you want to do.
Okay, so I like that makerspaces are more about the people in the space than the tools that are available. But let's face it, the tools are what make the makerspace so amazing.
What we have is the tools to go beyond what you can do at your house. I mean, we have a $3,000 laser cutter out there.
Yes, that's true. So what other tools are around the makerspace?
And I mentioned 3D printing a lot because I think that's one of the biggest things makerspaces do. If you've ever been to a maker fair, half of the booths are a 3D printer.
Besides the amazing laser cutter and the charming 3D printer, Make Lehigh Valley is full of other useful tools. It has a drill press, a bandsaw, hammers, wrenches, all the kind of things you would expect in a shop. And it has a lot of electronic tools. Jeff introduces me to Arduino.
So this is an Arduino, and what it is just a green square basically, with what I would call that a computer chip, right? And a bunch of these little pin sockets, and on the side it's got, kind of a power jack and a USB cable. But what you can do is you can turn on or off all of these little outputs, and you can sense a 1 or a 0 on all these little things because they're also inputs if you want them to be inputs. And then you can create a circuit, so you can put a bunch of LEDs on here and a chip and make them light up or something like that. So in terms of starting something and wanting to have something like that, these are pretty cheap actually.
There are also a ton of crafting tools, from yarn and knitting needles to paints and brushes.
And this is where the two sides of this place meet. We also have conductive thread. So there's all kinds of projects where you use conductive thread inside of your clothing and you can connect LEDs up to other LEDs on your sweater.
So makerspaces are part tools and part people. It's a place to be creative, problem solve, and make friends.
One of our members had a great quote in a newspaper recently. He just said, "We're a bunch of kids pretending to be adults." And it's kind of what it is. It's a bunch of people that kind of, never grew out of that, taking apart their toys and trying to figure out how they worked.
Thank you to Jeff and Make Lehigh Valley for giving me the full tour. If you want to learn more about Make Lehigh Valley and what they do, check out their website at makelehighvalley.com.